Mm-hmm.
All right, Georgia, you're going to tell us about 2021 for the next 4 signs. We
Yep.
have Sagittarius,
Mm-hmm.
Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. So,
Mm-hmm.
Georgia, let's start off with Sagittarius.
I'm very happy for Sagittarius because Sagittarians, optimism for them is a survival issue. Optimism and physical activity. And it's nice if they have a big dog too. Okay. Like money. But really, they have to believe in a better tomorrow. They have to, right? And now, this is quite lovely because this grand conjunction and Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius are sitting, as I said in one of the earlier videos, bloop, bloop, 2 away. It's what we call a sextile. It's not the next sign, but the next sign, the next neighbor over. And that is a very favorable position. So right off the bat, Saturn, by having this relationship with you, will give you a very focus, an excellent focus. It's an excellent time for you to make plans. It's an excellent time for you to study. It's an excellent time for you to work. You'll even give yourself a little disciplined to-do, not just a to-do list, but a schedule. You'll be quite impressed with yourself. Meanwhile, juxtaposing this, Jupiter is sitting there. And Jupiter is boosting your confidence, boosting your optimism, making you feel that something good is happening. And indeed, it will. For example, this year is so easy for you, you will accomplish quite a bit with little effort. I mean, that's how those 2 planets are going to help you, right? VIPs will even help you. Jupiter is all about the big guys, right? They're just going to be stepping right up. So if you need a loan, if you need a promotion, if you need a parking space in your building, whatever, somebody is going to help you. So make an appeal. Do not hesitate asking for what you want. This is definitely, and again, you're going to love to hear this because this is who you are. This is your year to think big and make big plans. All of that, because I would say this to any sign who is having this influence, but it just so happens it's happening for you. And this is your natural style. So this is a wonderful time. You will also feel very generous this year. You will be more tolerant of others. It's a time of achievement without question. I would say the biggest thing for you to think about is this. Whatever you do now, you can strengthen your scene, whatever it is, for the future. You can help. I'm not saying that you're preparing for adversary, but we all have ups and downs in our lives, right? We all do. And so whatever you do this year can strengthen you for whatever you meet in your future. So this is a very strong time for you. It's a happy year for you, and yet you will also be serious. You will get recognition, and basically life will be easier. It's a lovely time for Sagittarius. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Capricorn. Whoa, Capricorn, Capricorn, Capricorn. Well, my dear Capricorns, I'm glad that you survived last year. And it was so challenging, and of course, many didn't. It was so much was going on in your sign, and at the same time, challenged by Mars being square you. Fortunately, you are a tough sign. You really are. You are tough. I say things like, no pain, no gain. Adversity is character building, but these are values that you do have. This year, you're going to be happier to know you're going to get richer. That's it in a nutshell. You're going to make more money. And if you're not earning a salary, don't worry. The money is still going to come to you. Your assets will increase. In a few weird examples, cases, some people will just get richer because they buy themselves something. They might buy themselves a great car, or they build a swimming pool, they do something, and they feel richer even though they paid for it. But you will feel more affluent this year. Things will come to you. And furthermore, you will have money-making ideas. You will see ways to earn more money. At a deeper level, what is actually happening is you gave up a lot around 2015, 16, 17, and then around 2018, you pivoted into something kind of new and fresh, very new and fresh. And then last year suffered with what changes had taken place. So this year, and it does make sense, you are really giving a lot of thought to your values. In other words, what matters. Of course, you're giving thought to money coming to you and things like that, because that is one value we do have. But no, you're going to give a lot of thought to what really matters. What matters in life? And I think one of the quickest ways we can often think about it, and it's a cliche, but when we lose something, or we lose a person, or we even lose a job, it could be something, anything, then we realize, wow, that really mattered. I sort of took it for granted. So this is a good year for you to do some serious thinking about what matters in your life, because if you know what matters, then that will help you to make decisions about what to include in your life and what not to include, what to do and what not to do. How can you make these choices unless you know your values, right? So that's very important. And I have to say, because of Saturn, you will a little bit maybe feel like you're losing control over your stuff, all your possessions. But don't worry, you won't. But you will have a harder time to feel confident about it all. And it probably is leading up to the fact that in about a year or two, you might have a move. You might have a residential move. And there we have it for Capricorn.
And now over to Aquarius.
Aquarius, the age of Aquarius. Isn't that interesting? What do you think, Kelly? Do you think this is the beginning of the age of Aquarius? What do you think?
I think it's more official,
I would agree. I
feel like it's like we're, we've been in the front yard and now we're like definitely on the front porch.
Yes.
And here, because we're living and breathing the Aquarian experience now on a much, the whole, the realm of thought. And
what I'll say, just I think, so that everybody else can tune in on this too, planet Earth goes through all 12 signs as well. And planet Earth takes 26,000 years to make one cycle through all the 12 signs. So it is in one sign for roughly, it's a little vague, but roughly 2,000 years. So for the last 2,000 years, we have been in the sign of Pisces. It's going backward, by the way. And so we could say that since that time, since the time of Christ and whatnot, we have had a definite orientation to a God, a higher being, to which we make an appeal. And often, sometimes there is an element of suffering to achieve, purification. There's a little bit of that, I think, in the last, some of the philosophies in the last 2,000 years. So we're swinging now into Aquarius, which is an air signs. And the air values are that you would not appeal to a third outer source. You will rely on yourself. You are your own, your own authority. You are your own authority. Or you will become enlightened or self-actualized because of working on yourself. This is and furthermore, with Aquarius, coming into Aquarius now, there will be huge technological advantages, huge. So some people think that the age of Aquarius is starting around 2030. Some people think it's here. Some people think it started in the 1990s. If I had to put my bet on it, I think it might have started around the 60s, because that was when the computer came in. So the computer was, sitting in a big temperature-controlled room then, right? And then finally by the 70s, and then, pardon me?
With literal bugs.
Yes, right.
Literal bugs.
And then in the 80s, I know I got my first computer in 1984. And then in the 90s, we started to get wired. And then by now in the 2000s, what are people calling the 2000s? It's 2020 now.
Well, we're now in the 20s. It's just
the
in
20s.
The 20s.
Yeah, now we're in the 20s.
Not in the 1920s. We're in the 20s.
This Aquarius thing is definitely happening. So the Aquarians this year, they have the grand conjunction taking place in their sign, or I would say in your sign. So there you have Saturn now and Jupiter in your sign. This is a very, very powerful time for you. So I see that you have most recently given up a lot. Since I'd say in the last 2 to 3 years, you have been downsizing, going through closets, garages, storage spaces, and getting rid of what you no longer wanted, recycling it, whatever, selling it. And now this year, you're going to enter a whole new path. And this is a whole new 30-year cycle. So it's going to be, for some of you, it'll be so new and so fresh, you will actually change your wardrobe, your daily wardrobe. It could be because you moved to a different climate, or it could be, let's say you were working, as oh, there's a funny thing with the sound.
Oh, I hear it too now. Sorry, I didn't
Yeah.
hear it before.
I don't know what that is. So we have to just stop here for a second.
Okay, shall I stop the whole video?
I guess so. I think we'll have to do that again, eh? I don't know what the hell happened. I don't know what happened.
So should I save this video? Should I save the recording?
Save it, because hey, we're just human. Everybody's watching, they're human. How ironic. We're talking about Aquarius and technological stuff.
But
and
now,
suddenly we had a technological glitch. It's okay now, isn't it?
I know, yeah.
Okay, well, we'll continue.
All right, moving on. Okay.
Okay.
It was Saturn square Uranus.
So an example of how you would change your daily wardrobe. Yes, you could move to a new climate, but also let's say that you were working all the time and suddenly you're now a stay-at-home dad or a stay-at-home mom. You're in your sweats or whatever, changing, or vice versa. You've been stay-at-home and now you're back in the workforce. There's many, many reasons why you might change what you're wearing every day, but that's just an indication of how big of a new deal, how a new thing that you're entering. Because really what you actually are entering is a path where you're going to reinvent yourself in the next 7 years. Meanwhile, Jupiter is in your sign right now. When Jupiter passes through your sign, and it does once every 12 years, and it's only about 4 or 5 times, if that, in your adult life, without question, at the end of that transit or that journey, you will have more self-poise, you will have more confidence. You will. So this is going to be a very lovely learning, but in a fun way, journey for you. Also, people will help you. My God, there you have divine protection with Jupiter in your sign. You will be lucky. You will explore your spiritual world to some degree. This is an excellent time to get psychotherapy, psychoanalysis, or any kind of counseling, because you're setting off on this whole new uncharted territory. Why not get somebody to give you, help you sort out in your mind what your values are and what it is you want and what you don't want and that sort of thing. Ironically, it's an introspective time because Saturn will do that to you, but Jupiter will make you effusive with others and helping them and letting them help you. It's a very interesting time for them. And now we come to Pisces. Pisces. Two very different influences are happening for Pisces. Ironically, just like Virgo, Jupiter and Saturn are in the Pisces home. That's very interesting. So in many ways, whatever's going on this year for you, you're going to feel comfortable with it because it will sort of feel familiar. The first thing is going to be more dramatic, and I'm going to talk about that. You are without question entering a time where you are going to dismantle much of what you've created since around 2008. You're going to, because you just don't need it. You just don't need it anymore. You're going to get rid of stuff, what I just said earlier for the Aquarians. You will be going through garages and closets and cupboards and recycling, getting rid of, throwing away, selling, getting rid of stuff, downsizing, because you're getting rid of what you just don't need anymore and you want to lighten yourself, lighten yourself. So don't think of it as a time of loss. It's a time of becoming lighter. It's funny, I was thinking of something and now it slipped my mind that I wanted to say regarding that process of lightening yourself, but it will come back to me, I hope. I wish I did know what it was. I had, it will come back. Meanwhile, Jupiter, while it's there for you, is going to enhance your interest and your commitment and your fascination even with spirituality, things that go bump in the night. I don't mean everybody's going to drag out a Ouija board. Actually, it's quite deeper. So something will happen that triggers and that you start thinking. For example, myself, I'm just going to share this. I have several planets in the Pisces house. The older I get, the more I am shocked at how much I used to dismiss as either corny and certainly just sheer magical, or no, I wouldn't even have said it was magic. I just said stuff like that couldn't happen. I now at least have an open mind about it. I give a lot of what I just would call magic credence. I think that our minds are so small, our sensory systems are so limited that we have no idea. For example, just think how bright it must be out here if we see everything through the tiny little pinholes in our eyes. All this stuff we see is just through these tiny little pupils. It must be really bright out here, right? Just stuff like that. So Pisces are going to have this great exploration, but you most definitely are letting go of what you no longer need. Oh, including people. And that is something. So if you feel that relationships have outlived their usefulness at this point, they will go. And again, it's some of you will even change countries, but you're getting ready to start a whole new world that for you will start around 2023. And so this is a time of preparation, and you might very easily play the role of teacher to somebody, or you are the student. But this is the classic time for all this growth to take place in a teacher-student relationship, and you could even be both. You could flip-flop. It will be easier for you this year because there will be less demands made on you, and you can kind of do your private exploration. And there we have it.
All right. Thank you, Georgia. This is awesome. All right. I'm looking forward to 2021. And let's not forget that if anyone wants to get their more in-depth annual forecast with a much more meaty look ahead of the month by month, it's on Georgia's website at www.georgianicols.com. So be sure to go and check that out too. And wishing everyone a fabulous Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Georgia.
Thank you. Happy New Year, everyone.
Woo!
Bye.
All right. Bye.